everyone. My name is Tasneem. I'm the senior manager at 98 Percentile in the HR department. And today we did a wonderful drive with XLR. It was amazing right from the very beginning, from the very first day when I got in touch with them till today. I think it was an extremely smooth journey with them. There were multiple follow-ups done by the representatives in order to check that we would be, what time would be coming, how many people would be coming, what vehicle we would get. To that extent, they were so precise in giving all the information to us. It was extremely great to get associated with them and have a drive at XLR campus. So we are very, very happy that we got a chance to do this. Now, coming to the students, what XLR had, I think they were extremely enthusiastic. They were well prepared. They were aware of what they are coming for. I think there was some back end preparation which they did that was commendable. They also were very confident and they were open to any kind of thing we were asking them to do. That was I think the best part. Now, I really hope we have a very, very fruitful association with each one of them and XLR in future. We are really looking forward to have many more drives like this.
Hi everyone, my name is Prachi Sharma and I'm the Senior Project Manager for IT Department at 90th Percentile. So today we were here for this IT Bootcamp, right, this technical drive and at XLR. So it was a great experience and I would feel that the students, they are the freshers, right, but it doesn't seem like
Hi everyone. Am I audible to all? So welcome back to the session. In the last session, we were trying to understand about the wireless that is the Wireshark, and how to track the traffics on the network, right? So in today's sections, what we're going to understand is we will be understanding how to mitigate. Okay, we will be understanding identifying, exploiting, and mitigating the SQL injection vulnerability in a web application search functionality, and also we will be trying to prevent unauthorized access to the sensitive data. Okay, so SQL injection we already have understood, so we will just move forward and try to understand about the command injections. Okay, so we would also, along with that, we will also understand the difference between the command injection and SQL injection. What exactly a SQL injection is going to do and what exactly a command injection is going to do. Okay, shall we proceed? If you have any doubts based on the earlier class topics, you can let me know. If there is no doubt, we can move forward. Okay. So coming here with the command injection attack. Okay, so this is also lies in the OF's top 10 vulnerabilities, right? So this would be somewhere in the third position. So in the top three, we have an injection attacks. Okay. So in injection, what happens is you try to inject some malicious activity, might be on your application, might be on your servers. Okay. So how are we injecting it? How are we trying to inject a malicious activity to our application? So those can be done in various different ways. So the one is we will be having here with an understanding about the command injection attack. So in command injection attack is one of the type of an attack. What happens is an attacker would be sending some or an attacker would be executing an arbitrary commands on the operating system, okay, via using an application. So if you see this diagram, what happens is you have an application, you have your website over here, okay, it has a connectivity to your server. So this is your web applications, okay. So this is going to be your applications. This is being connected to the server. Okay. It has a connectivity to the server. And then what are you doing? An attacker is going to send a system command is being sent. A system command means your user input. Okay. Malicious shell command. A command, what would be the command now? Any idea? Okay. That is what we are going to understand. Okay. What is the command we are going to use it? So a Windows-based command, you can use it. For Linux-based commands, you will be using it. Okay. So here you're using a cat space and slash etc slash password. Okay. So the based on the operating system, what type of operating system the user or a victim is using, based on that, you're going to send some malicious command, shell command. Why? So that you would be getting a sensitive information. So sensitive information is nothing but this typically happens when a user input is not being sanitized. So here if you see, yeah, once it is being sent, that malicious command is being sent, okay, command execution is going to happen on the server. The server is going to send the response and output of a system command plus attacker malicious command is being sent to your applications. Okay. So let me also draw and show you how it is going to work. Here just to make it very simple to understand it. So this is your application. Okay, this is your application. In the application there might be some sort of forms you have created. Okay, you have created a form, or and the client is having a form that is going to take an input from the user. Input is a form is now going to be email ID, email. Okay, and then you have one more as password. I'll try to write password. Okay, so this was, so this website is going to contain this form which has an email ID and the password or some login functionality is being provided. A login method is being created. So what happens is this website is, I'll try to minimize it so it's really not very much helpful. Okay. So what happens, a user, okay, user is over here. User would going to send the data, right? A user input is being provided on the website directly in the form, right? They would be accessing to the some specific domain name. Domain name is a, like whenever you want to access to any of the application, you would be using a domain name. Might be google.com. Google. Google.com is a domain name which you're trying to search, right? In the Google.com, before you try to log into any of the application, before you start using any of the services they have it, you need to log into your applications, right? Now what, and that this data, whatever user inputs are being provided. So this input data, what happens, it would be stored on the server. In the database it is being stored, right, for processing purpose. So all our informations is being stored on the server. So if you try to log into Gmail, if you want to use a Gmail account, what you do, first you need to sign up, you need to register, you need to provide your email ID, password, and so on, and that input is being shared on the server end for processing purpose. Those data has been stored. So every time you log in or every time you open a Gmail, okay, email, what happened is you will not be providing a password and email ID again and again because already this data, your credentials are being stored on the server. So it would be easy for you to get easily access. So for example, you have uninstalled any applications. Okay, if you try to reinstall it, you have a credentials. It would ask you for login and the password, that is sign in up with the existing account. So where you can go ahead and provide your username and the password. If by I am able to give the username and the password, I'm able to log into your application. So again, it does not take you for the first procedure, for registration procedure, it does not take back to you those procedure, right? The registration process would not be happening again because the data is stored on the server. So we can also tell it as a database. Database is nothing but where exactly the data are being stored. Okay. So it also can be told as a backend, the server connectivity where the data are being stored. Now an attacker, what happens is, okay, would be injecting a malicious activity. This is going to be user, or I can tell it as a victim, you and I. Okay, he's going to be an attacker, an hacker or attacker. So what he or she would be doing is he would be finding out my vulnerability and injecting my, I would be using a way to inject the code. Inject the code is, as I told you, we have command injection and then we have an SQL injection, right? Command injection is nothing but you send some malicious command, okay, where in an application through might be inside the form, okay, you would be executing those activity in the command injection. So in server, okay, whenever you're trying to create or whenever a client is trying to create a server, there should be a secure connection should be happening. If the example which you're going to use is they would be using a PHP server, okay. So in PHP, what happens is, any idea what is PHP? Any idea? So PHP is an Apache server, right? So what happens is in PHP, uh, the input, whatever a user input is being provided, those would be directly being accessed to the server without any validations. So those things also we will be having an understanding on that. How is the data being accessed? So those things also we will try to understand it. Now coming here with the command injection, right? So in command injection, they're using an operating. So as I told, they're using an Apache server. Okay, so they are using an Apache server as a backend connectivity. So based on that, I would be sending some command lines to the world. Okay, so commands are something like might be I would be using some um, like to know about the user, I would be using who am I. If I want to know about the configurations of your server, okay, so I'll be using if config. Okay, those are few commands which we will be accessing, and we will also see practical on that. Understood what what is the command injection would be doing? An attacker is going to manipulate or try to inject an activity on the application. Those activity, those arbitrary commands are being sent to the server. The server, what happens? There was a flaw, because what is a flaw over here is the server is not going to validate what is the user input is being provided. So there is a major thing which is missing it out. If an applications, if you're trying to figure out in the application, first thing what you need to see is as the protocols are important, what type of protocols are using. Okay, are they using any API concept? Okay, are they using input validation? Input validation is whatever the input a user is providing. Okay, they need to be verified. It's just not like you provide an input and based on the input you're going to give a response. No, there should be an input sanitizing or input validation should be done that help you in making sure that whatever the user details or whatever the user input is provided, that is being sanitized. And then the next process, that is the response process, need to be done. Okay, want an idea, everyone? Any doubts if you have, please you can let me know. Yes, can I get an updates from you all? Getting any updates? One minute. Just a minute. Chat is also available. Okay, moving forward, let us try to understand about the SQL injection. Okay, SQL injection, the difference between what happens here in the SQL injection is same activity. Okay, so I'll take you through the slide as well. So as you see here, an attacker would be sending a shell payload to the server. First thing is they would be sending some payloads. The payloads can be in any way. The shell payloads is something. Imagine it can be, yeah, here I'm trying to send to the server, then it's going to be a command injection. Okay, to the server, what happens? The server is going to execute the command on his operating system, on the specific operating system. It can be Windows, it can be Linux, it can be Mac. So based on the operating system, the server execute the command which is sent by an attacker. Okay, and then what happens? The third step is the operating system is going to return this text output if it is exists. What is happening? It takes an input and it also check out if there is an output present for it, the response. Okay, based on that, the page with the output is sent to the hacker. So it is going to respond, check first, verify it. Okay, verify in the sense, okay, whether this command is able to execute or not. If it is, then those input is sent to the hacker. So this way, what happens? They will be able to get access to their operating system and find out what is the vulnerability or find out any to get data breach can be happening. What is that? The ransomware can happen. Okay, and then sensitive information can be steal. So those are the activity that can be done by an attacker side. Moving forward within SQL injection. So SQL injection is an attack. What happens is it allows an attacker to interfere with the queries. Okay, SQL is structured query language. So coming here within SQL. So database, what type of database, what type of, with the query language you're trying to use. Is it NoSQL or SQL? So those activity we also need to figure it out. So SQL stands for structured query language, right? Just making a few notes so that structure language. Okay, so in structured query language, what happens is nothing. It's just a query purpose that is being used for an applications or any application if they want to connect or store the data. They would be needing a query language, which would be sending a query to the database, and the database would be going to perform. The query can be like update, delete, insert, okay, add, create. These are the activity that can be done with the help of SQL command. Now in SQL injection, okay, so now they, as I told, SQL is going to deal with SQL commands, right? SQL commands. So the commands are various different commands are being used. So in SQL commands, what an SQL injection and attacker would be doing is he would be injecting some malicious activity, like malicious commands. Okay, with the so an attacker would be along sorry, in SQL injection is an attack that allows an attacker to interfere with the query. Interfere with the query means if a sender is sending, like create, okay, create or delete or update, okay. Yeah. So a sender is trying to update. There would be an update button would be created, reset button or update button. Reset and update is not. Delete or reset button. Okay. So you are trying to click on reset. You have hit the button for reset, but what is happening? It's your entire data has been deleted. Okay, you might be wondering like you would have done something wrong or how is this happening? It's because of an hacker or a hacker would be sending some malicious commands. Okay, he would be interfering with the queries with the help of the SQL command, and that query is sent on the URL. So mostly this SQL injection would be happening on the URL, and this can enable an attacker to view the data, modify the data, delete the data, and in some cases it also help you in it also an attacker also would be executing some operation on the database also. Okay, so here also what happens whenever an input, okay, whatever the input, uh, and as I told you in the URL, you need to cross verify that the URL has been sanitized or not. Okay, you need to figure it out. The user input is being with proper sanitization has happened or not. That is what we are going to have a look into it. So here, an attacker is there. Okay, you have some sort of form is being provided. So what happens is normally your input would look something like this. Okay. So unit select username, password name from user. Along with it, you're trying to inject something as well. So you set name description from products where category gets non-select union select. Union is everything you're trying to select that the username password from the user. So when you click on submit, okay, as a user, what happens? You think it is a legal website, you click on submit, but additionally, this data, this SQL queries might be injected. What is happening? It is selecting the name, description from the products, whatever you have selected, and also it is going to display your name, username, and the password from the user. So all password and all usernames are going to be displayed to an attacker, and he would be having an access to their application. Understood the difference on SQL injection and the the command injection? Shall we go forward and understand about the practical? Okay, so we'll just move forward. Coming here with the Kali Linux again. Kali. then root, I'll just provide the credentials over here. And let us try to discuss about the injection. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll try to go with it. We'll try to understand few theory concept by reading it. So injection flaws are very common in application today. So this flaws occurs because the application interprets user control input as a command or a parameter. So injection attacks depends on what technology are used and how this technology can be interpreted with the input. Some common example that is going to include like SQL injection, command injection. So in SQL injection, what happens is this user, when a user control input is passed to an SQL queries, you'll be injecting the queries using the SQL commands. As a result, an attacker can pass in an SQL queries to manipulate the outcome of a such queries. So this could potentially allow the attacker to access, modify, delete the information in the database. And also it also help you in bypassing an application can also be done in this. Okay. In command injection, this occur when a user input is passed to system command. Okay. If you want to know about the system, then you would be passing a command to an operating system. As a result, an attacker can execute an arbitrary system commands on an application server, potentially allowing them to access user system. Okay. So here I'll go ahead and command injection. So in the command injection, what happens is, see here, you have a PHP server. You have created a PHP server. You have the command all fine. You have a condition. You are along with that, you're making a, there is, let's consider scenario, Mocore has started developing a web-based application, okay, called ASCII art with customizable text. So this is one application. So, okay, what are they doing is they're trying to inject, okay, inject is they're making the flaw here is that by default, they're making an application as default. Default is anybody can access the application by providing the data, and they're using a PHP to connect as a backend server. Okay. So we are going to checking it out, what type of activity can be done on your application, and we are going to get access to the server using a PHP commands. We will be using a PHP command to get access to your server and get the information. That is what the practical we will have a understanding over here. So what I'll do is I'll start the mission. Terminate and start again. Now, start the mission. I'll also start the attack box. When I start the mission, an IP address is going to be generated. When I start the attack box, you will be able to see a virtual machine is going to be started, where I can go ahead and perform the activities. In the meantime, you can let me know if you have any doubts. That it would take a minute to open. You can have a look and you can let me know. different hash generating websites are generated, different hash codes. No. So for example, we will see that, okay? So I have this online tool. I'll just open different online tools. Okay, these are the two inputs I'm going to give. I will use hello. Okay, hello. But make sure what type of algorithm you're going to use. MD5, SHA-1, SHA-2. Okay. So for example, here do I have an option of using SHA-256? Okay. So SHA-256. So I'll go ahead and apply SHA-256. Hash this. So this is the value it has been generated. Same thing. I'll go over the next tool. Give a hello, hello, and hash this out. So it's same. Okay. But if you give sorry. So if you use any a single comma, okay, or a space or any letters, if you change hello only is a word, but the letters, like if you're using small letters, okay, the entire hash value is going to be different. Okay, not with the website. The website is going to give you the same hash value. If you're using a different algorithm, then the hash value might change. Okay, understood? Okay, fine. So I would also share you some hashing online tools. Okay, and then today I would we will have an understanding. Whatever the tools, or whatever the doubts if you have, we can discuss about it. So today would be the last live session. So yeah, so make we'll try to make utilize it. Fine. Going back to our applications, that is to the practicals. Trying to minimize this. Minimize this actually. Yes. Okay. So now they have also been provided with the URL, okay, to exploit the application. So if you scroll a bit down, you'll be able to see to complete this question below, you can navigate this URL. So I'll just copy this link and I would go ahead and paste it on my Firefox, on my browser. And see what type of application is being created with this. Okay. Good. And then the URL which we have it. Okay, I'll just paste it over here. I'm going to paste it. Ten dot 128.135. 218, 135, 135:81 slash, right? 82. This is a different application, so I have to use 82 slash and give an interruption. Yes, so we have a Cowsay online. Okay, so we have a what is that? An application over here which has an access to your server connectivity. So we are using an inline code. We would be using a server. Here what happens is we would be sending a inline command to your application. So here enter your in accounts moving. So whatever here by default you see there, sorry, if you see choose your cow, like you have small dragon, many options are there. But by default it is used as a default itself. Okay. Now here we would go ahead and try to inject, that is I would be trying to send my commands and see whether I'm able to get the input or not. Okay, first thing is let me know like what type of uh, application it is. Okay, so I would just use who am I. Okay, what type of server they're using, what type of operating system they're using. Let me try to figure it out. So for that, I'll be using a what is it commands. Okay, I'll use a dollar symbol in the bracket because I'm using an inline commands, right? So it should be inside the command. So that is the reason I'm using a bracket, and then I would give who am I, who am I, and then I'll try to close it. So based on the input, it is going to, when I click on submit, you should be getting your output. So it's telling it is an Apache. So as I told you, it is using a PHP, it is an Apache server which is running at the backend connectivity. Okay. Then to know what type of IP address they are using, so I'll go and use a dollar symbol, and then to figure it out an IP address, you can use IP address or if config also fine. If config, and then close it and try to give a submit option. Yes, you see here they're using Ethernet 0 link encap Ethernet, and the hardware address. This is a hardware address, internet address, broadcast address, mask. Okay, and then the packets. What are the data which is being dropped? Local address and the IP address. Okay, that is internet address again. So these are the information which is being provided from the server. Okay. Now, again, we would go back and to figure it out, what are the IDs they're using. Okay. What type of user, if they're using any type of users, what type of IDs they're using. So I'll give dollar symbol and in the bracket, I'll give it as ID. Okay. ID is going to find out the identification of the user. So you have UID, user ID numbers. Okay. Group ID numbers. What are the groups created? So it is having www_data and Apache 101 Apache we have, and yeah, okay, www_data we have, not underscore, hyphen data we have. Then we'll try to figure it out if there is any username or any text file is available. So I would use ls command. Ls command is going to list out if there is any files or applications are being created, not application files are being created. Okay, so I would use the dollar symbol and open bracket and give a ls command and give an enter option. See here, I figured it out. There was a drpepper.txt file is there, and there is an index.php file has been present. Okay, so let us try to read what is this txt drpepper.txt file is all about. So I would be using a cat command to do that, to read it, right? So I'll give a the dollar symbol, and then I will use cat. What is the file name which I want to use? Pepper .txt, and try to close this, give a submit. I'm sorry, Mario, but the Dr. Pepper you are looking for, it's another web app. Okay, so it is giving me an data also. What is it telling? Sorry, whatever the data you're looking for is not over here. It is in the other web applications web app. It is telling. Okay, so again I'll go to the ls command. Click on submit. So you have index.php. Okay, index.php. So let me try to access this file. Here See here, whatever I'm giving here, I'm trying to modify it, right? I'm going ahead, I'm giving a ls command and try to modify it. So I would go ahead and give an index.php and see whether it's working or not. Whatever the URL, see that it would be going ahead and you can see that is being updated there. Also open the command prompt from here. I mean the terminal over here. In the terminal, let me give a ls command. This one will work. Sorry, I was just slipping over here. Coming back over here to my Firefox. This is what is being given. So let me give a ls again. The bracket ls, no interruption. Here I'm unable to modify it. Okay, so let me also give few more commands to figure it out the input. So if you want to update any data, okay, or if you want to just review an application, what is an app that is being running? Okay, so I just use who am I again, dollar symbol. Okay, it would tell Apache server. So let me give the U name. So I'll give a bracket. I mean the dollar symbol in the bracket. I'll give a U name hyphen U. And then close it and give a submit option. See, it is telling it is a Linux. Okay, it is using an Ubuntu SMP and the timings also being listed over here. Okay, and then if you want to give the ps hyphen tool, I'll give a dollar symbol again. PS space hyphen EF and give a submit option to verify the thing. Here, all the data, like what are the data, users time command, what's the Apaches, what are the different types of foreground, everything has been listed over here. So what are we trying to understand here is I'm just giving whatever the commands can be executed over here. That is, the server is not trying to validate the user input. Okay, I'm trying to give an input command and I'm able to send it and trying to get the input of an operating system. So whatever the data I can fetch from your applications on the operating system, those using the commands, I'm trying to fetch all the data and that data are being responded and displayed on your applications. Okay, an input validation has been not been provided and they are taking any sort of input. Okay, whatever the input I provide from the user end, that is being accessed, that is being responded back from the server, so that need to be restricted first. Okay, understood everyone? What are we doing here? It's just a simple one we have done. Okay, To know what type of Apache server they are using also, we have a command called number bracket etc that is slash etc slash find that is the release. Simple lsb underscore blue hyphen a. Okay, let me check out the version. What is the command used for the version? In the meantime, you can have a look into it and you can look. Right click and then view the page source. Yeah, here we also have a file access. You can also go ahead and try to see what type of activity they're trying to use. How is the data being displayed? Okay, so you can also go ahead and try to figure out if there is any uh, issues or if there is any vulnerability to over here. Also, you can figure it out. So yeah, with the issue with the input over here. So what strange text file is in this website root directory? So we saw that Dr. Pepper.txt was the file name, okay, which was available. What are the how many root, non-root, non-services, okay, users are being used. So there was no users are being created over there. You were able to see, right? And then what type of system app is running on what user is this app application is running in the Apache server, and what is a user shell set as? It is set as a no login page. Okay, and what type of version it is running on an application is 3.6.16.0. So these are the set of questions that is being asked in the try hack me. So you would be like you go ahead and use in the lab and you will be getting those answers over here. Okay. Fine. So we are done with the lab. So anything apart from it, if you want me or if you want to discuss, you can let me. So I'll show you. So I'll show you a few applications where you can work it out. Okay. So the hashing tools, I'll share it in the chat box. You can have it as a reference for yourself. Okay. So next thing is we would see on the hack the box. Okay. So I'll just tell you how if you want to have a hands-on, okay, and like practically if you want to work and the tools I'll just suggest that is hack the box. It's one of the best tool where you can go ahead and have a hands-on different types of attacks. Right. So I'll just click on it and show you how it is going to work. Yeah. So here many labs are being provided. You need to go ahead and sign into your applications, okay? And you would be you sign up. Currently, I don't remember my password. I'll just log in and update you. Okay, so if you have a look over here, you would be able to get. So when you log into your Hack the Box, so you see different types of modules are available. So you can go ahead with all modules. This is a dashboard. Okay. So see, broken authentications, if you want to work on the broken authentications, information gathering, attacking authentication. So, for the broken authentications, let us have on this. So when I click on it give you a clear understanding how it is going to work, and you would also be able to enroll if you want to look into if you want to work on the bug bounty hunter, you can go ahead and work on the bug bounty hunter. But we would check with the dashboard again. Machines. We'll see what are the machines are being available. Select the machines. Okay, there are few machines which have been there. So easy, medium. Okay, and you can go ahead and use different machines names. Okay, you can go. This machine's names are just randomly, not randomly. Like here you see with the Jerry, we have broken authentication. So you can go ahead with the broken authentication if you want to have a hands-on. Just go ahead and select this. Hmm. See, start module. You can go ahead and start the module, and you would also have an access to your labs, and you can perform it. Okay. Module overview. What is authentication? How are you going to do those authentication? So as try Acme, we have done, right? The same way here also you will be doing in the hack the box. The other one is the port switcher. This one I have already shown you how it's going to work. Give me a minute again. I'll just log into port switcher as well and show you. this password, I'm currently unaware of it. So here also in the ports figure, what happens is you'll be able to see different types of uh, the top 10 vulnerabilities. Based on that, you will also have an labs being provided. So you can go ahead. This I have already shown you on the ports figure what how you need to work on it. Okay, so any doubts if you in this applications, you can let me know. So there is no doubt. Fine. So how did you all feel about the workshops which was related to the real time examples? We have seen few practicals based on it. So how do you all feel it? Was it useful? Anything, any changes you want me to do? You can also let me know. You can quickly provide your feedback in the chat box. That would be helpful. Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen. Let me know if there is anything or any input you want from my end. Also, you can please let me know. The internship is the this workshop you're talking about. I can provide you all with the slides. Okay, I'll just make a PDF and I'll send it to the team. The team would be sending you in the email. Okay, you can receive those PDF. The slide which I usually share it, right? So those slides I can provide you. You're welcome, Bhumika. Yeah. So you can like if you have any things, okay, if you're working on anything and you need some input from my end, you can just uh, send it to the team. You can just mail them and I will just reach out to you also. Okay. And as I told you, the cybersecurity is just a very vast domain. Okay. You need to, like, if you really want to work on the ethical hackings or if you want to do VAPTs, so there are many things we need to learn. It's not only that you stick to, okay, I know encryption, I know decryption. Not only that, we need to know about the programming part. Okay. So today we have some understood like the SQL commands. Not everybody would be able to understand the SQL commands and so on, right? So we need to know how an SQL is being used. Okay, not the very in depth of it, but the basic understanding and how the how and SQL commands are being going to work. How do I send those SQL commands? So we were trying to send the SQL commands, but we were not able to figure it out, right? We were able to send the commands of the Linux commands, which we were able to send, like ls and all, is a Linux command. But for that, you need to have a sheet sheet of Linux commands, and you need to figure it out. Okay, the many things which we need to learn and need to be updated, and then you can get into this way. Okay? When you feel that you can really learn, and if you feel that this is a platform which I want to get into, then yeah, you can do it. Okay, so fine then. So we can wind up, and thank you everybody.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your valuable time. Thank you, students. Study well, all the best. Thank you all.